Me while I'm on this machine. I said, let me come on YouTube and talk to you guys a little bit. I'm live from Sao Paulo, Brazil. I hadn't been mentioning where I was at for the last week or so, but I said, let me come on social and chit chat with my folks a little bit. Sorry, I'm getting my exercise in. There's only so much time in the day, so gotta do it all. See if anyone comes on this morning. I'm just gonna cruise around a little and maybe go outside and take a little walk. So right now I am in Sao Paulo. So Sao Paulo is the biggest city, one of the biggest cities in the world, but it is in kind of like the mid-south of Brazil. It's the main hub that you would travel through usually when you're trying to come to Brazil and go to other places. It's just a huge city. It's very much like a New York City vibe, very intercultural, cross-cultural, lots of coming together of different cultures here in this space. A lot of activities, a lot of delicious food, a ton of access to fresh produce and things like that. It's actually like a really high-grade lifestyle here. So yeah, I just wanted to chit-chat with y'all a little bit about it. A lot of people ask me like, okay, how are you just out traveling with your kids at these times? Things are, kind of, it's hard to come by things these days, but I try not to think about it that way. I definitely work with a lot of, I wouldn't say law of attraction, but a lot of law of assumption. So really just knowing what it is that I'm, worthy of and my value, and attracting the things and the experiences that I want to attract instead of telling myself that I can't attract them. So that's kind of how I do things. It's how I manifest things. It's how I bring experiences into my life that it seems like I should maybe not be having. Excuse me. So, when we talk about the law of assumption, it's this concept of you assuming that you will have the things that have come into your mind that you have seen, that you want to experience, because you're going to assume the position. That's a guarantee for you, that you'll have that just because you've seen it and you want it, and you're going to continue to work towards it. And so it allows for you to almost step into, or kind of timeline shift yourself into a new reality. Hi, greetings, whoever just came on. Sorry, I'm on the treadmill, I'm wrapping up. But, law of assumption allows you to assume the reality that you want to experience and to know that you can have it. And so I like to kind of operate from that standpoint more so than, oh my God, I have to do this, I have to that. Because at the end of the day, life is short but long. So it's like you're going to spend all your life trying to over-prepare, over-plan, do everything according to a certain timeline. Tell yourself that you can't do the thing that you want to do because it's not the right thing, it's not the right time, or are you going to step into living the way that you should be and you want to, right? So we are in Brazil. We've been here for about a week. We haven't said anything to anyone just because it's nice to just travel and be with my children and kind of reacclimate to this place. For those of you who may have been on my YouTube channel before, I travel internationally, globally with my kids from time to time, and we'll go and stay places. So the last time we were here in Brazil for about 14 months or so, actually. And that was during the pandemic. And then we went to Costa Rica after that, and we were there for 6 months. So we were really kind of doing a lot of long stay travel during the pandemic. Then we went back to the Virgin Islands where we are kind of based a lot of times. So most of the time we lived on St. Croix. And so we did that, came back to VI, worked, saved, just spent our time focusing on, our manifestations. And here we are again, back in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, in the south. And we're having a wonderful experience, y'all. Like, oh, for those of you who may or may not have been to Brazil before, it can offer a lot of like interesting and diverse experiences, which I love about it, even though it's kind of like a monoculture type of place. So in most places you go, it's like just, Brazilian culture or Afro-Brazilian culture or whatever. But somewhere like Sao Paulo too, you can have these really multicultural experiences where you just are living among everyone. It's just like a New York City. And so it just gives you like this vibe and this feel. And the quality of life is really good because it's cheaper. It's way cheaper than the States, way cheaper. I'd say you can live here for probably half or if not more what you spend in the US just because, that's just how it is here. And so that's how the currency rate works. And so it's very beautiful, lots of access to fresh produce, fresh food, which I love. It's one of my favorite things about here is that you can come and really like upgrade your lifestyle without even trying because there's just so much access to food. It's Brazil, like it's an agricultural hub for people like me who have a heavy produce diet. I'm not interested in the packaged food as much and all that, but I want to know how I can have the best life, eating the best produce, and that is something. And so I love that. Let's see if it's raining. Okay, bonjour. See if it's raining. So anyway, it just gives you a lot of level upgrades coming from the U.S. So me and my children just in Florida, we had left St. Croix. I'm out on the street now. I won't show you the name of the building, but this is a beautiful building. It's an eco building here in kind of the Villa Madalena / Sumarezinho area of Sao Paulo. So it's very dreary here. That's one thing. People who are like sun chasers, this wouldn't be the place for you because the sun is intermittent. For me, I'm at that age and just the way my spirit is set up. I've lived in the tropics for so many years. Like probably half of my life has been in the Caribbean, in Africa, in Latin America, I've lived in so many places. Not half my life, I'd say maybe a third of my life. So I kind of craving more cool down, more cool, the mugginess and the headache of all of the extra heat and humidity. I just got tired of it. I love the islands. I love going to the beach. I love all the things, but I also like to just be comfortable. And being cold can be uncomfortable too, obviously. But right now, you see, I'm out. I just came out of the gym and I'm out in a sleeveless shirt. So obviously, it's not that bad out here, right? Plus, I'm warmed up because I've been exercising. So yeah, just wanted to show you all a little bit of this area that I'm in. It's pretty cool. But what I was saying is you get a high quality of life, you get good food, good cuisine. Their cuisine is okay. I mean, you got to go up to Bahia if you want to really taste some good Brazilian cuisine. Their cuisine's kind of boring. They don't really do a lot with the food. But what I love about Sao Paulo is that you can actually get food from all over the world. So you can get Cameroonian food, Ghanaian food, Haitian food. Dominicans are out here. You can get all kinds of Middle Eastern food, Lebanese food, Italian food. There's a huge area devotional to Japanese culture that's called Oi to the bone. That's devotional to, not devotional, but that is focused on particularly Asian culture, but particularly Japanese, and it's called Liberdade. Huge neighborhood where it's just nothing but Japanese restaurants, shops, mochi, like all the things. So if you're into Japanese culture, this is a really cool place. Sao Paulo has the second largest or the diaspora for Japanese. This is like the second largest location for it outside of Japan. So there's a ton of Japanese here. Ton. So if you're into that kind of culture, it's here. A lot of cosplay, a lot of that kind of vibe. And so here it's starting to get chilly now. I'm like, oh no. You see, I got my little jacket on me, but I don't want to put it on because I've been in the gym. So this isn't as interesting. This is obviously just stores, but I'll show you an example of, and this city gets really interesting because like when you go into the city more, you'll see all these tall buildings with beautiful indigenous and Afro-Indigenous women painting on them and all this gorgeous artwork. And they love a lot of muraling and stuff here. So it's like the whole city is just this artsy city. But here I wanted to give you an example of how the food thing is so dope. Because they have these things called hortifruti. I don't know how they say it, hortifruti. I never learned how they said that because they don't have those as much up north where I used to be a lot. I've lived here before too, but so anyway, those shops are all over this city, and in them have like the most amazing, delicious produce. Now I like produce that I know is kind of certified organic, and I know where to go get that too. There's some amazing co-ops and stuff like that here. But if you're someone who wants to kind of control the intake of poison and you want to really be on top of that, you need to be knowing what's in your food. And so in the hortifruti, you can go up in there and just get hella beautiful produce that it's just a different vibration. Like you put it in your mouth, it's so delicious. It's so, every time I put something in my mouth, I'm like, oh, and this is after living in the Caribbean again for we were there for almost a year and a half again when we came back from Brazil and Costa Rica. And this is after living and being in the States for 3 weeks. Forget about it. The food was just bland, tasteless, nasty. I was like, what? The produce, I couldn't do it. And then I couldn't even do it. I couldn't even eat the fruit. Like, forget about it. I don't think I tasted a piece of fruit that I could actually stomach. And St. Croix doesn't have a good food scene. It's not good. The agriculture scene is very, very small. It's very limited. You got to go certain places at certain times to get things. Other than that, the stores have all kinds of produce that's just old and been sitting up on trucks and planes and been flown in there. It's nasty. So, I wasn't really getting my quality of life. I'm very particular about food. And so that is one of the biggest things that I get from being in Brazil is I get access to all kinds of amazing produce. We don't be realizing it's health is wealth for real. If you're out there and you can't access your food, it's what are you doing really? It doesn't even make no sense. Now, I come from an agriculture background, so I understand no matter where you are, you should be growing stuff. And I used to grow everywhere I lived and was always growing. I worked for farms, organic farms, so I've done that. But where I'm at right now is I'm kind of more, not nomadic, but sometimes we nomad out. Sometimes I don't feel like planting where I'm at, or maybe it's not conducive to that at that time. So I might not be planting, but I still want to have that access. You know what I'm saying? So, and you guys go ahead and ask any questions too. I'm not really staring at the screen. I was going to show you this little area by where I live. So yeah, so these towers are part of the building that I'm living in. It's a lot of you being in, high rises. So it's very much like a New York City here. And, I have lived up north too, where it's black and hella dope culture and it's got all the things. And you, listen, this place is crazy up north in Bahia and Salvador. It's shit you've never seen in your life. It's so amazing. I've lived in Itacaré up in the north, all in Bahia. So I have done different parts of Brazil, but I fell in love with Sao Paulo because of just the amenities and the fact that, we are surrounded by mountains. It's one of the biggest cities in the world, but you can still get that small town feel in wherever you're at in Sao Paulo. So it's not like you got to feel like you're in this crazy expanse. You still get that small town feel in your hoods and stuff. So it doesn't mean you're gonna make friends and have peoples easily, but even I've only been over here a week now and I've already got a lot of the shop owners show me love. people. I've been chit-chatting with folks. I move around, people hail me up like they know who I am. It's just moving around just for a week. So it is a vibe of like community building that takes place over time. It's harder to build community when you're international, especially with people who don't speak your native language. I speak a very conversational Portuguese, so I'm comfortable speaking, even though I'm kind of been rocking and trying to get used to it again. But so I've been very comfortable with Portuguese for some years now because I have been in and out of Brazil for the last 20 something years. So I do speak Portuguese, but I'm not fluent because I don't be here just extensively, like for 4 or 5 years at a time, right? It might be a year, and the max was like 14, 15 months at one time, right? And then other times it would be a year. So yeah, this is one of my favorite little peaks right here in the area that I'm in. I'm up on the hill, obviously. And there's a really cool neighborhood that's adjacent to us. It's called Villa Madalena. It's kind of the bougie, kind of pop little neighborhood around here. Posh, that is. But I love it because it's got a lot of art galleries that represent us, indigenous people and brown people, beautiful artwork. There's tons of like muraling, phenomenal muraling. They have this area that's just area where they do a whole lot of like festivals and stuff like that, and it's nothing but just muraling. Like I'll go over there. It's called Beco de Batman. I'll go over there and let you guys check it out. So yeah, it's just a really creative, artsy, vibey place. And like the minute we got here, my energy shifted. I had been in Florida and I was like, oh, this vibe here. I mean, it's okay, but it just lacks everything. It lacks energy. And so I couldn't wait to get out of there. We were there for what, like 3 weeks. And I could not wait to get out of Florida, Miss Sun. Like, I have lived in Florida. I've had apartments in Florida. I done been in and out of there, in and out of Georgia. Like, I know that region. But, oh, this time I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So, and unfortunately, I was in Orlando. I should have went where I have friends and where I know better, which is down in, South Florida. Date my girls in Davie, and it's just really the Miami area is my vibes. Even though I find Miami to be difficult too, it's just too much of like a spread out situation in Florida to really have a good time, especially if you're not renting a car. Um, but yeah, so here we are. Excellent public transportation here. You don't have to want for nothing. Uber is pretty cheap, even though, of course, it will add up if you're running an Uber several times a day, right? So you kind of have to map out your movement and, do what you can do in a day, but be aware of that. But if you need to, you can always get on a subway and go take care of errands for $1. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of options. You can walk. It's a very walkable city, such a walkable city. It's a big city, but it's very walkable. And especially when you get down into the center area, you can go from Liberdade, the Japan town, all the way over to the area they call Paulista, which is a big time shopping malls and all the things. There's so many huge shopping complexes here, but you can go from one area to the next on foot. So it's just really amazing. But yeah, anyone have any questions? This is what we're doing right now. I'm here. I'm with my kids. We all love it here. It's a little chilly, so it's not like the perfect place, but it's not that chilly. I mean, I still don't have no sweater on. Did anyone have any questions? I'm gonna get ready to go up in this building and get ready for my day. But I would love to answer any questions about Sao Paulo, about Brazil. Y'all know I do offer travel planning. I've been doing this with my kids for like since my daughter was 1, so 18 years now, where we'll just go and live places. So I'm very like I know how to do that. I know how to move in and out of people's countries and places and move around with children safely, right? So yeah, if you have any questions or anything, you can also hit me up below. Okay. This might not be the number one place of interest in Brazil for most people. Most of us are more interested in like going up to Salvador, going up to Bahia, which I adore Bahia. It is amazing. You've never seen anything like it. It's also not my ideal kind of place to live in the north because there's a lot more poverty and stuff. So you end up kind of a mark as like a person who's American, even though you're brown. You'll still kind of end up like a mark in a certain type of way where they'll be hustling you more. And that just got old for me. We spent a lot of time in this town called Itakare. Um, they seem to have like levels of like fear or dislike for foreigners in that town. So even though we weren't treated horribly, they did try to hustle us a lot, and we weren't treated well. It wasn't friendly. So you will find some of the smaller towns where they're not as used to foreign people. There's a certain type of dislike for them. So that wasn't fun. We enjoyed the town. It was a wonderful town, but we didn't have like our good social experience there. But the cities are better. They're way more used to others being here. And Salvador is an amazing city. I've also lived there. Yeah, so it's just up to you. Most people are gonna go towards wanting to be in, hot places. I know my people. We like the heat. We like all of that. I personally am tired of it. I've lived in the tropics a lot, and I guess maybe it's the age I'm at or whatever. I'm ready for like some cool down from time to time, not just to be full blown 90 degrees all the time. So I got tired of that coming from the Caribbean. So yeah, we taking a break at least on that. We're not sure how long we're gonna be here yet, but we here, okay? So yeah, hit me up with anything, any questions, anything down below. Email me if you wanna set up a consultation. Trying to think if I have so many websites and things that I've had with my links on them, but just hit me up by email for now. Imara Ifa. More of you are coming on. What's up? What's up? Talk to me. I don't want to get off if it's gonna be a little bit of you on here, but I'm not seeing no questions come up, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm on this phone and I'm not seeing them, or y'all not talking. Please let me know where you're watching from, though. Let me know where you're watching from. Like, give me a little energy exchange here. Bonjour. So yeah, um, and just, here is very customary that you're going to greet people when you see them. Everybody don't greet, but it's very customary that you, bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, so you're going to actually acknowledge people's existence when they come around you, right? So I try to be on point with that. That's nothing but a thing for me and my children, because in the Caribbean, it's the same way. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. You're always greeting, right? Sometimes you'll be like, oh, Lord, do I got to greet? But, you need to greet. It's like that in most parts of the world. Even my son I was living in Senegal in West Africa at one time. And it's the same thing there. And you really got to greet out there. I mean, you got to sit there and chit chat with the people. You might not know them from a can of paint, and got to hold their hand and chit chat with them for like 3 minutes just for it to not be awkward. So it's a lot of greeting on, right? But yeah, most parts of the world are like that. It's only like places, Western places, where people just walk past each other and don't even barely say nothing to each other. And even in parts of the U.S., you still have people greeting and acknowledging each other too. And so since I have that energy, because I do that in most of the places I live, it's like I kind of bring that out of people, I think, a lot too. So yeah, y'all. Hit me up, hit me up. Yes, I love my building. It's so fly. We have a little place to do laundry. Everything is super electronic, super like high tech here. So you gotta go through some things to figure out how to do basic things like wash laundry. But we have a high tech laundry. We got a nice little gym in here. Got a little co-working space. A lot of the high rises here in Sao Paulo, they have co-working spaces in the bottom floor. So you can go and just, vibes up, work, bring your stuff, set things up so you can connect with people and do what you need to do. It's dope. It's a really, really dope building that I'm in. And they say it's eco, whatever that means. I don't know. I just got it on Airbnb and have enjoyed it thus far. Pretty much. It's a lot of like shit you got to go through to get through the doors of these buildings in Sao Paulo. Even my last spot where I was living, we had to go through a lot just to get through the front door. Like they have like a lot of security measures, but it is what it is, and you get used to it and you learn how to move through. So, just getting used to different types of, it's similar. Even if you're in New York City, you can't just walk up in somebody's building like that where they live. I mean, you gotta go through the front, you gotta go through security. But here you might have like 3 or 4 layers before you can get into the building. So that's another very interesting thing. Yeah, man, there's 8 of you in here. Somebody say something to me. Holla at me. I appreciate you for coming on. Let me see. I'm just like, am I missing something? No. Yeah, holla at me. Any questions? Like I said, I'm not sure how long we will be here. Thank you for the like. Please put a like on this video. Trying to rev this channel back up. I have a very hard time staying stable on YouTube because I just be moving around or just disinterested in social media for periods of time, but I want to bring more content to the table, especially like these vertical lives, because it's just easy and I have so much to talk about. I've traveled so much. I've done a lot, lived in a lot of places with children. I've done like a lot. Like my life has been pretty rich. So it's like I'd like to share more of it. Plus I have a background in, wellness and medicine and so many different things, healing modalities and stuff like that. So it's a lot that should be shared instead of kept to myself. So I want to bust out and do it. So yeah, man, we'll talk to you guys later. Y'all are quiet today, but hit me up below. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to do more of these, showing you more of the town, more of the sights. You ask me any questions, okay? Please put a like on the video, subscribe, do the whole, thing, hit the bell, whatever they be saying, right? Do that. Okay, peace.